let's get started with the devices so I can explain all this stuff to you. So everybody sees me in this camera, right? Okay, this is a thermal imaging camera. So I should be red, orange, and yellow, and everything around me is blue and black. Okay, so this is set up to white hot, black cold. Okay, so what we're looking for in this guy is if something goes across my face that's blue, we obviously know that that's a cold spot that just passed by me because my face is orange, red, and yellow. So this is going to go based off of whatever's inside that screen. So if I take me out of the picture, those trees above me should have some orange, red, and yellow in them where they were just blue and black before. So I'll do it again just so you guys can see the variation. And it's going to fluctuate. The cell phone technology that we have for cameras is not within this little guy right here. If we move it too fast, it will pixelate. It will calibrate, but that's just based off the temperature gauges that it's finding. This does not see in 3D either. So it's literally just looking at a flat surface, and whatever those temperatures are, we can recognize them because we know how to look at things two-dimensionally and three-dimensionally. So this is already recording, and it's another point of audio to listen for EVP. So there might be time where me and Octavio actually separate. This is going to you, buddy. You're going to hold that.
That's Octavio.
I'm sorry, did I screw that up?
That's what I was just looking at.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry. I thought I was getting it right. So you're going to hold that horizontal, just like that, all night long. Do you see the red square? It should be over here on this side.
Yes.
Okay, if that turns into a circle, you need to hit it again and let me know, because that means I have to splice 2 more videos together, and you'll be the jerk of the night because it takes me a long time to do that. So, so don't touch the red square if possible. Okay. And then literally, we're going to work more too, guys. So the first location we go besides here, which this place is haunted, I'll get into that. But the first place we go into is actually haunted, but it's more of a teach and train further. So I'm going to be working with all of you one-on-one with your device. We're going to need to cover COVID crap, don't we? All right, so sorry to break away from the devices. I'm a little out of order. Again, some of this is scripted. So COVID stuff, I did ask all of you to bring masks. I'm very lenient with that. It is your ticket that you will get that I'm not going to pay. So in the event you get a ticket, it's all on you. They are offering tickets at $100. There you go. No warning. So I do actually have a mask with me. If I have to get close to you, I will have it on. I should actually have it in hand, just so you know. But there is no warning. It's literally, here's your ticket, have a nice night. All of your devices actually have been disinfected. So I do that in between every tour. You guys are my only tour for the night, so I did it before I left the house. I do have separate medical masks. In case you guys are going to dance break, I got extras, got you covered. And I also have hand sanitizer in case anybody needs it. So, COVID stuff done. We good with that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, where was I going next?
Huh?
Spirit boxes. Oh. Anybody not know what a spirit box is? Where's my ghost hunting show fans? Really? None of you watch
to watch them, but
really?
I am, but I like it at the same time.
Fake.
Okay.
It's all fake. We'll just put it out there. It is. Those guys are looking for TV and commercial ratings. Okay. I'm giving you the real deal. I'm not making stuff up. You're gonna see it live. All right. So spirit box, that you guys don't know what they are. This is a way for us to communicate with the dead. What it's going to do is it is a radio speaker. Okay, so it's going to flip through all of the FM radio stations at a pretty quick rate. Now your TV shows will have it set so fast that you can't hear any radio voices at all. I have this one slowed down. You guys have never done this before. I hate to say the word amateurs, but y'all are amateurs. I want you to hear that radio chatter. I want those DJ voices to come through. Have you guys seen the movie Transformers?
Oh, wow.
Have you guys seen the movie Transformers? Think of it as Bumblebee. You know how he talked through the radio?
Yeah.
Same principle. He's going to use that DJ voice or the song lyric or whatever he needs to say. If you can make it out, that's what we want to know. What's so cool about this guy is that, let's say the persons that I give this to, they can't hear this. They have a hard time with it. It's fine. It's still, we're getting a recording. It's recording the entire session for us.
She wants to take over.
Okay. So it's recording everything for us. It's not recording us. It's only recording the radio sweep, even when it's on mute. It's already recording right now. So I'm going to turn it up so you guys all kind of get a gist of what this sounds like, and then we're going to end. It's going to go to the 2 of you so that way you guys can actually verify each other. So if I hear something, I'll say what I heard. Told you is what I heard there.
Oh.
What?
I told you.
Okay. didn't get anything out of that besides told you.
It's right here.
Yeah, it's right here.
Es
So,
que y lo
two
sentí
of you,
atrás en
there's
el
one little
paso
button
de
at the top, it's a wheel.
I
Okay,
have
it
a
turns the
feeling.
volume up and down. You
No empieza, por favor, ya.
Okay, so there'll be
I'm
times where I
telling
say,
you the
kind of
truth.
keep it at an audible level for the both of you. Obviously, when I'm talking, keep it down, and then I'll say spirit box in. That's kind
¿Me
of
vas a dar a mí o qué? Tranquila, tú.
You scared?
¿Por qué no? Yo
You're
no
scared?
quiero.
Okay, they're scared to hold it. Somebody else wants to be responsible for it.
Wow, they all terrified to hold it?
You guys want to hold it?
I got it. You get
I got it.
whatever.
There's a little
There's
method
too
to my
much of it.
madness.
It's too much for me.
Yeah, okay.
EMF meters. We got a lot more devices to go through, guys. So, EMF meters. These are pretty common on your ghost hunting shows too, especially this particular model. So here's how these guys actually work because they never explain it. They're jerks like that. It actually measures 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. It's basically an invisible field that's going to be touching this device. The first one is natural. It comes from the earth. That's why it's green. That's the measurement of it. It just shows up. The second one is going to be from our electronic devices. So cell phones, wiring, buildings, those kind of things. Parking meters is a great example. It's going to make it go off. It's going to put them into a rhythm or a pulse. We don't want that either, because then we can debunk it pretty quickly. We want that erraticism. We want it to go crazy. When it starts lighting up like a Christmas tree, you need to speak up, Octavio. This is going to be going to you because you haven't said a word all night besides your name. So it doesn't make any noise and it doesn't vibrate. So literally, you are the one that tells us when things are going to start to happen. Now,
So if it goes off, I tell you guys or what?
oh yeah, you
Like
can
a
interrupt
rave.
me right away.
Like a
Trust me,
Christmas tree.
we will see it.
What do you want?
So here's the other thing I'll tell you guys about all these devices that I'm handing off to you guys. I don't get excited with one device going off. I get excited when I look at things in the morning and I see that the EMF went off, but none of you heard anything or saw anything. But when I go through the other spirit boxes or I go through another recording and I find a timestamp of, hey, we were at this location where the EMF was going off. That's my hot spots. So that's when I get excited, is when more than one device is actually going off. Okay. Just because everybody's kind of creeped out by the thermal imaging, I'm going to force you all to work with it. So, we all know what these guys are, right? Well, this one at least, right? So this one is a surface temperature gun. So it's only going to measure what the red dot touches. Okay, that's the temperature it's going to give us. I have no idea what the temperature is between the gun and the red dot. Let's go ahead and turn that down.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I know you're excited. It's good. It's good when I have to be disciplinary. It's awesome. So I need to know what the temperature is in between the red dot and the gun. So that's where this guy comes into play. So let's say Rebecca, right? You get that one right? All right,
Yes.
awesome. So Rebecca's standing where I am and she says, Nick, there's a blue spot on the wall. It's moving around a little bit and I can't figure out what it is. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the surface of the wall. If it's the same temperature all the way across, it doesn't make sense for her to have a blue spot on the wall then, right? So now we know that it's between her and the wall. So that's where we take this guy and we have a probe here at the top and I will literally move this in between her and the wall as long as that blue spot is there and try to find where that cold spot is. Then we'll have something valid to actually make sense of. Does that make sense now? All right. So this isn't our most active tool. This is almost kind of like a pocket tool, but this guy will help verify some of those temperatures that she's looking at, that tree, the car, so forth and so on. But these are going to go off to you because you're the first one to pass it off. Like, you didn't even want to touch that camera. So now you have to help her.
So that's like a two-step tool, kind of.
Yes, it'll prove or disprove what we're actually seeing. So I'm trying to see who does what. Normally, you guys have to remember, I'm a writer. Y'all are characters to me. I'm looking for the talker. I'm looking for the person that's a little edgy. I'm looking for the person that's
we're
I'll tell
edgy.
you who's the edgy.
We're gonna make something nice and simple for him. We need pictures, okay?
Oh.
Absolutely, we need
Ooh,
pictures.
pictures.
It's a simple point and shoot. There's no flash on this camera. I took it off. Why? Because I don't want any false positive. So, in the event, it takes pictures of a building, it has a flash on it, I then have to analyze every flash in the windows. So if I can't make sense of it, it goes to my wife. She does all the graphic design work and all the photography work for Stories in a Cemetery. So she designs everything from scratch, by the way. She's awesome. She also does all my book covers. So we're the perfect duo.
Yeah.
So, again, take as many pictures as you want. The rule of thumb is none of y'all can be in the pictures. You guys didn't sign legals, and if somebody shows up in a picture where there's evidence, I just crop that person out. So there's literally an on and off button, and you take the pictures. Now, when you're taking pictures, because there's no flash, you need to be perfectly still. Otherwise, everything's going to look blurry. So as still as possible, and always take 2, so I have something to compare about. Does that make sense? Okay. Last but not least, I think we're going to go this route instead of the lasers. I got a whole bag of tricks, I'm sure you guys can imagine. So, I'm going to use a secondary spirit box for you. Now, have somebody close by, because this one doesn't record. So in the event you hear something, it works the exact same ways theirs does, but there's no recording. So it's literally just in real time only. So the way this one works, ooh, somebody said this one was super fast. Is that playing with this? Sorry, I had it set really fast. I was testing something this morning.
Oh, there you go.
You cannot control the volume on this one like they can, okay? So literally, there's a button on the back of the speaker, and you can move this however you want to. It turns it on and off. I already have it set to sweep, but when I say it's too loud for the horses we're gonna walk by, you cup it just like this, and then slowly open up your hand just enough so you can hear it.
Okay.
Like, you're gonna control the volume with your own hand. So again, try to keep somebody nearby in your group so that way they can help you verify what's actually happening. Probably best to have, because he's only taking pictures. I normally have lasers and all kinds of things out tonight, but it seems like there's a lot of cops out tonight. And cops will get, the lasers will get me in a lot of trouble if they're pointed in the wrong direction. Not that I don't trust y'all. I do, honestly, I do. But lasers are not worth jail time. So, hello.
Hey.
You guys all love my Ghost Lives Matter patch?
That's right. Ghost Lives Matter. That's so cool.
So it's on right now. Do I need to turn it on?
No, we're gonna leave it down. So just like the cue for them, its spirit box is up, and you guys will try to stay away from each other because you don't want to be listening to the other persons. So with each spot, I'll give you guys a very specific direction. I use a couple of tools on my phone. Okay, you're probably thinking that's kind of hokey. It actually works. I do have a backup EMF in case Octavio's actually drains a battery. Okay, so it does happen, not often, but I have a backup in a pinch. I do use 2 different types of spirit boxes on my phone. So the first one gives us a word from time to time in the center of the screen, as you can all see, and then it will save them to a list. Last night's list, they had over 100 words in a 90-minute tour. Here's what I'm going to tell you about that list. First off, I normally only get about 50 to 60. I was with them a little bit longer, so I left it on. I'm going to clear them out because they already have theirs. 80% of that list, absolute bullshit. Doesn't mean a damn thing. It's the 15 to 20% that I'm going to give you verifiable links to show why it was relevant to either the tour, something one of y'all told me about a personal experience, or of the location of where we are. It will make sense once I give you those links. Okay, so I'm not making things up. I give you a lot of outside links for that kind of stuff. I also use a reverse spirit box. I know I talk too much, right?
No, you're informative.
That's
Great.
good.
I'm very thorough. So the reverse spirit box, I debunked this one as well. It is literally a man and a woman saying random words, and then they flip the audio backwards. I have no idea how long the loop is, but they claimed that it was an FM radio sweeper, just like the spirit boxes, and I said, there's no way. I've listened to this thing dozens of times. I was like, that's not what it is. I have the software to analyze EVPs, so I put it in there, flipped it forward, and this is what it came up as a man and woman. However, it is still very useful. So I'm going to turn this up, just because you're going to hear this on your regular audio. That's the way I communicate, because I use both spirit boxes at the same time. So it's going to sound like gibberish.
Oh, yeah.
So when I get something that comes through in forward motion, it comes through in forward motion.
Oh.
So a couple of weeks ago, I got the strongest EVP I think I've ever had before, and I'm going to play it for you.
And you were on a tour when you got it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm going to tell you the quick little gist. So, what you're about to hear is, I was talking about a woman from England. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind when you guys listen to it. And I'll play it several times for each little portion of the group.
Tell me about breakfast.
I'll play it again. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah. Eggs, beans, breakfast. Hungry. Poison.
It's baked beans breakfast.
Oh, okay.
So here's what happened. Your spirit box said, I'll fix you. And then the baked beans breakfast. And then the word list that I showed you guys had the word tea in it. That was all within 2.5 minutes of each other. I'll fix you, baked beans breakfast, and tea. In the 1700s, that was an actual thing in the UK.
Yeah.
So, see how I have to look at this as a collective the next day? Does that make sense how I have to do this for you guys in the morning now?
I'll take some big beans. That'll be nice.
Baked beans for breakfast? Sounds nasty. So, I leave this one open all night long so the words can actually spit out on the screen for me, and then when I have to use the reverse one, all I have to do is turn the volume up because it's playing in the background. So this is what you're going to hear on your audio when I'm communicating. Does that make sense to everybody? So you guys ready to hear some stories?
Yep.
Alright, so this place is haunted. I already told you guys that. This place used to be called Big John's. Big John was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. Now, he used to sit in the back of the bar. He used to sit in the back of the bar because the cadets would come over from the Citadel and have a few drinks, and Big John would tell them, a bartender, if they were of age or not, because he knew everybody. One night, 2 guys come in, they're not of age. John tells the bartender, cut them off. They leave, they come back the next night, and they steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Big John pulls out his gun, he shoots, they wrestle a little bit. The bullet ricocheted and landed in the wall. Now, it's not the guy that he wrestled with that haunts the place, it's the actual bullet hole. So, the bullet hole actually holds on to paranormal activity. At times, when people sit in the front of this bar, and this new owner is going to find that out, if that's what they're turning this into, people will not feel well. Dizzy, headache, queasy, those kind of
I had
things.
that earlier when I was walking over here.
She picks
I
up a
started
lot of
feeling
stuff.
dizzy. I was like, oh.
Where were you?
Around
Right
by
here,
the
and
front.
then right here, when you pass by with the first machine, it says, I told you. Because I was telling myself, like, no, there's nothing. There's no ghost. Stop. And I was like, okay. But it was dizzy.
Okay, that's good to know. You guys need to tell me that stuff, especially if it happens again. And this is the exact reason why I tell this story. So, perfect example. So, thank you for stepping forward. If one of you is not feeling well, I need to know.
Yeah, me.
Already?
What's wrong?
My stomach.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I making you nervous? Or is it
I don't
something
know.
else? I hope I'm not making you nervous. I'm pretty laid back.
Are you okay?
I'm good.
Okay,
But
we'll
it
move out of
started
this
from
area
the
pretty
church.
quickly. 'Cause
No,
that's,
I just had a question. Have you ever been robbed?
No.
On this tour? No, I'm just saying, 'cause I didn't know the guys that passed by. You have my wallet, everything, you know?
Everything's good.
Just a question.
So I'm sure you guys know we had riots down here, right? During the whole protest for George Floyd. During the big riot, I was out here doing a tour. Not one person bothered me.
Okay.
Okay.
Not one person. And there was actually a barricade right here. And I
Well,
walked through
okay.
I walked through the police barricade with this giant bag and not one person stopped me. I could have had a couple of assault rifles in here and nobody would have known it. Not one person stopped me.
Okay.
So, but we'll be fine. So,
I just asking, I do the same thing in San Diego, back home.
yeah,
I mean,
sure.
You never know.
I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. It's like the #2 murder capital in the world. Like,
Even when I went to the border.
nothing like scares
We're
me.
from 30 minutes from DC. We're from
Okay,
Maryland
yeah.
originally.
Okay.
I went to DC for like the protesting, and it was actually fine there.
Oh,
Okay.
We're all from all over.
I
I've
know.
been in something like that. That's why I'm asking about it. Across.
I carry a switchblade on me if that makes you feel
Okay.
better.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna go next to you.
She's the smallest person. He's the biggest person here. This ought to be interesting. And now she can't get it open.
It's yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
She's ready.
I usually
Not
have
right
one
here.
inside my bag too.
look your face.
There
He's
we go.
ready too. He is ready too.
The other story that actually happened here, we had a big earthquake here in 1886. That's big for Charleston because we don't get earthquakes.
Yeah,
We're on
that's
the wrong coast for
California.
that. Yeah. They're from Cali, so
Yeah.
We get them all the time.
yeah.
Okay.
We have hurricanes all the time.
No.
So that's kind of how it goes over here. But the earthquake here, 1886, the first killing actually happened here. So the mantle above your heads, a piece of it broke off the front of the building, killed somebody, and apparently his ghost is said to be seen right here on East Bay Street.
When he was just like walking by or
Well, I'm
minding
sure-
his business
I'm sure like he was trying to get somewhere because the ground was
and
shaking.
he just,
Yep.
And yeah,
holy
wrong timing.
yeah, wrong time, wrong place.
You guys ready to get out of this area?
Wait, before we go, so what does this do? It's like.
You'll light up like a
Light
Christmas
up,
tree.
yeah, like a
rave
rave.
light.
Like
You'll
Yeah,
see.
I know. What does it mean though? Like if it goes off. Like,
There's
It
something.
means something that I can't explain. So if it's not my cell phone, oh look at that. Just so you guys know, where are we standing?
Yeah, it's blue.
Big John's Bar, Big John's Tavern. Taking it already. Thanks, John. Appreciate you. So
Don't make me dizzy, please.
He said I'm here.
pretty much probably why you're busy.
Yeah.
If I can't explain it, that's something paranormal.
Okay.
That's where we're at. If it's not a rhythm or a pulse, if you can't look at it and actually get a beat out of it, then, and if it's all over the place, we're going to be looking at the other devices pretty heavily. So trust me, things will spike up.
What color is the light when it goes off?
It'll go all the way up to, it starts yellow, orange, and then red.
Yeah, a while ago it did go to the second one. Like when I think someone was passing by and it went orange. Or second level, I don't know.
Are you sure it was a person and not a ghost?
Are we sure that they didn't have a super new cell phone that could have been, and if he was on his cell phone, it could have given off that pulse?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go this way.
Thanks, you got the rope?
No, Amo. Who's in the back?
I'm in the middle.
Faith is the girl to be with.
¿Qué? Viene chingue.
I put it down the hole. I don't want to chew it under my mouth. Where's Pete? Bundy.
You guys take the carriage car?
No, I just looked through.
We started over there, and then we came around to there.
Oh. So please don't tell me you guys paid for parking.
No,
Okay.
we didn't.
I actually tried to park right where I'm standing, and then one of the shop owners.
Maybe 'cause
this
you're
is
close to me?
private parking. I'm like, well, there's no parking meters. Get out of my way. So I'm up the road a little bit, so I know some of the other little hidden spots. But anyway, so let's tell you guys a little bit about where we are and what's going to happen here. So first off, know behind you that the big white building, that's Crew Cafe. They have an alleged suicidal haunting. I did get a little bit of an EMF reading there. I could probably debunk it if I spent more time there with some of the old wiring that's going on.
It was just lighting up a
Yep.
minute ago.
Yeah.
See, you don't even have to pay attention. We're all telling you.
I just have
There
really
you go,
bad
you got more.
ADHD, so it's
So-
gonna go
I don't have a whole lot of info on that land because it used to be a slave home. So that original plat of land did not have an address. I don't know if that's a reconstruct, a rebuild, or an addition. If I can't find the history and verify it, I don't even want the case. And I don't do people's homes either. That gets just too personal. So I do haunted locations, museums, things like that. Things like the Flight 93 Memorial where nobody would have done that. I did it very discreetly, and we'll talk about it as we move along. For you history buffs, Revolutionary War, everybody kind of picture Charleston, the peninsula in your head. It was much skinnier back in Revolutionary War times because all the stuff we have around the edges of the peninsula now are pretty much man-made junk. So a ship rolls up, shoots a cannon, and lands right at the stop sign past Crew Cafe. No deaths, no tragedies, no paranormal activity of any kind, but it was a neighborhood, so I'm sure somebody got hurt. But there's just nothing. I mean, I've walked that dozens of times trying to get something out of it. Just one of those little nuggets of history that I came across, and I was like, oh, that's along my tour. Let's show it off. So where are you now? You're at the Red Barn lot. Okay, so the Red Barn lot, this is where we keep the horses for the carriage rides. This is a palmetto carriage. Okay, so the horses are inside. So, I'm sorry, name again?
Ileana.
Ileana. Your spirit box is a little loud for the ponies, so remember I showed you how to cup it? So I'm going to actually keep you on the eastern end of things, and we're going to talk about spirit boxes for a second. But the history here, the only thing I have is that this is the same barn that they kept the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. So if that dates it for you, 1860s to 1920s, and also of what kind of language you're going to be using to ask questions on your spirit boxes. So your TV shows start spouting stuff off crazy. Why'd you kill so-and-so? Why are you here? You know, that's not what we do with this. Okay, that's not real life. Okay, those TV shows are bunk. I watch them so I know what not to do. You're going to ask very simple questions. We're going to start you guys off with something you might actually already know. For example, what color is the barn? And I use this example on every tour. We all know that the barn is red. Okay, unless you're colorblind, I just told you. Okay, so you know you're listening for the color red. So you're gonna, for example, what color is the barn? You're gonna wait 30 seconds. If you don't get an answer, try to rephrase it. Can you tell me what color the barn is?
One question, is it on?
It's already running, but your speaker's not on.
Okay.
So your speaker is literally right there in the center of the back.
The little
right.
The power
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. I have everything else set up for you. It's running. It's just you can't hear it because the speaker's blocking it. So, in the event you don't get an answer after 3, 4, maybe 5 tries max, that person, if we actually have EMF activity, is standing next to you. They're not in the box. You don't need to talk to them. It's literally all about, all right, let's move on to another question. Can you tell me what's inside the barn? What kind of horses are in there? Or what kind of animals? Listen for the word horse. again, I'm starting you off with simple things so you get used to what you're hearing out of those DJs. It doesn't matter the gender of the voice. Nice. It doesn't matter the gender because they're only giving you the message. So I get a lot of times, I heard a female voice say horse. Well, it doesn't matter whose voice it was. It's just the word horse. It's the message. So that's what I'm listening for. As far as camera sweeps, you're going to go basically just do 2 laps. You have a bunch of different materials in here. We have asphalt, metal, wood, brick, foliage. You have a bunch of stuff. You're going to really learn how that actually works. Okay. Who's got the guns? So the yellow gun, again, not super exciting. It's almost like a pocket item. We'll pull it out when we need to. But that red one that you have, the laser cannot go in those windows. You will spook the ponies.
Yeah.
We don't want them kicking because then we'll all get the shit scared out of us, and it's never a good time.
I won't play with it.
Okay.
Tell me to do it.
Yes, I mean, you're going to be basically following her around, and you're going to help out. And your temperature is going to be off by about 4 degrees. So if you shoot this wall, for example, she might have 75. Yours is going to say 71. Or the reverse. It might go up to 79. So just for an example.
Oh, 81?
So what temperature do you have there?
I think I'm still catching him.
76.2.
76.2. And what does your camera say the wall is?
On the wall?
So it says 81. Okay, so it's off about 5 degrees. Hers is 5 degrees warmer. They're not synced up. There's really no way to do that because they're supposed to be actual temperature. 2 of you should actually probably pair up. Just when he gets a hot spot, like he's already kind of in a good spot now, but if he actually moves around and finds a good red spot where it's active, then that's where you really need to start asking your questions. What do you have? A camera. So take as many pictures as you want in here. Just be wary of the cars. People get a little weird about cars. So dark spots are fine because I'm going to lighten things up with the filters that I have. So again, take as many pictures as you want. I don't like 400 pictures, but if that's as many as you're going to take, that's perfectly fine. I'll go through them for you.
Did you take a picture there, Siki?
Yeah, right here.
So I'm going to send you guys. You guys can pretty much go anywhere. Just keep that audio just so the 2 of you can hear it so you're not spooking the ponies. You guys have a good... And I'm going to work with all of you individually so that way you guys all get the gist of how this is going to go.
I know, I just want to see you.
So go ahead and I'm going to send the 2 of you off. So again, ask... Oh, also, Spirit Box folks, stay away from yes and no questions. Here's why. The S and O in yes and no are 2 of the most common sounds in the English language. If you say, is somebody here? And they say houses, you think you heard yes. And also think about, is somebody here? No. You also have a smart-ass ghost. So you kind of think of it that way. You want specific, detailed answers. You can ask about these. And in the next location, I'm going to give you guys like some quiz questions that I'm not going to give you the answers to. So that way you can find those things out. Does that make sense? I'm starting you guys off easy with the red barn, the horse inside the barn, whatever. You can say how many people are here, what color's my shirt.
Can do numbers.
Numbers and names are fact. I can Google the hell out of that stuff and get the verifiable information if the name is relevant. Now, we also might get teammates from Big John. We might get a stable boy that wants to tell us how he died. We don't know.
It's okay, though.
We care about you.
Again, off you go. I'm going to keep the 2 of you, well, you guys just need to find a hot spot and just try to stay away from their spirit box so you guys aren't listening in. And that way you have a gist and you can help them listen in as well.
Photographer, paparazzi gets to go anywhere he wants to take pictures.
Yes, he's paparazzi.
Like
I like it.
Church, or is it church, right? That we passed by?
Which?
On that side? There's like a church and then there's like a parking lot.
Church and a parking lot.
Is it a church?
There's a restaurant called 5 Church, but that's over that way. Do you see the...
With the brick?
Yeah, that's 5 Church restaurant.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just passing by, and that's where it started getting heavy for me, and then around the corner, then that started
There's
getting...
stories there, too. I just don't go up that way.
Yeah, we usually
but
pick
it started
up
getting
that stuff.
like somebody was pushing me down like that heavy, like somebody's on me, and then around the corner, I was like, oh, okay,
I don't like the fact that you felt something,
No.
but the fact that... And I don't claim to be a psychic or a medium. That's why I use all the tools. Now, do I use spirit boards and all that stuff at home? Absolutely, I do. Has shit attached themselves to me during these tours? Yeah, sure has. I carry blessed stones with me now. I'm not a religious person, but I got a lot of psychic friends.
Yeah, we have a sage. We need a sage ourselves before going home because we experienced a lot and we fully don't believe in all of that.
And again, that's why I give that warning at the front. The first time somebody passed out on me, I was in CPR class the next day.
Oh, wow.
I mean, and it's happened more than once. Luckily, I usually have a nurse on board. like in the tour, so I didn't have to use my CPR training. But I've had witches literally like they're like, oh cool. They don't make it. I'll be honest, most of them don't make it. They get to the next spot that's super heavy, and they're like, no. So if it gets to be too much, I need to know.
Yeah, okay. Because in New Orleans, we did a bunch of them, and it was okay. I was happy, but until I got home, I was having sleep paralysis like crazy. It was just like too much for me for like 2 weeks. And then
you need to give her my phone number in case
she experienced any stories. Yeah.
There's a lot of stories I can tell you.
Well, this way I can either help you or you can help me.
Yeah.
We're resources to each other, and that's how I look at this. Like, I'm not the guy. Like, if somebody comes up and says, "I have a local," and they say, "Well, that story's a little off," okay, prove it to me. So they'll send me a story later on. Thanks. I'm not the guy that says, "No, you're wrong. I've been telling the story forever."
I wouldn't know. I'm not from here. I didn't research
my
anything.
point is you could tell me about something else you're doing that I'm also involved with. I do a lot more than just go ghost hunting with gadgets. Again, I have the spirit boards, I have my tarot cards, I read playing cards, But again, if the message doesn't come through me, it comes to me in the cards. So again, and I do that more so for myself. Like I'm teaching my youngest daughter, she's 14. A lot of times she's on the tour. So she's starting to ask a lot of those questions. So I'm teaching her the safe way to do things. Because I've had enough instances with black mirrors and spirit boards and all that mess where I couldn't get out of it. And I had to seance stuff and exercise what I needed to get rid of it. But at the same token, it's one of those, I got to teach her the right way. If you want to know about it, I'm going to teach you. Because I don't want you playing with it. It's not a toy.
We would not want to play with them.
I'm going to let you guys get your full sweep on that now that everybody's going to have my full story. Are we hearing anything yet, guys?
¿Por qué tenemos que ser nosotros, Rosy?
Okay.
¿Por qué eso está como más calientito? ¿O porque es electricity?
Pero no viste bien cuando me pregunté eso. No porque era así como.
No, pero es que sí venían así como.
No, te dije shady.
Sí, miraban shady. No, porque uno era morenito y uno era güero.
Yo me había dicho que venían como unos pies caminando.
Yo te miraste y dije yo, ¿qué está pasando?
No, pues yo dije, está listo para pasar las bolsas.
Porque tú estabas como torcido y yo dije, si not feeling good, dije, what's going on?
No, yo dije, es que ya no sirve algo.
No,
luego lo irás aquí toda la cartera y eso. Queda sin nada.
¿Pero quieres meter mi bolsa?
Pues luego le voy a quitar la bolsa esta. No por eso. No por el
So, este es el building donde pasó lo del
Big John.
el Big John.
Where's the hole?
I think it's inside. We'll see. Vamos para acá, ven.
Oh my God.
None of them, a ellos no.
Dijo John.
Muévete.
What year did you die?
Tómala para allá.
What color is her shirt?
What color is my shirt, John? Bueno, no lo así. Okay, no, this is red or orange? Oh.
What color is my shirt?
John, how does it feel to be dead?
Why would you ask? ¿Qué dijo?
What year did you die, John? Are you here with us now?
Give me 6, John. John.
It is.
Tómalo aquí. Tómalo aquí. Kiki.
Pero como no hay nadie. ¿Cómo se llama el muchacho?
Nicholas.
Ay, the horse.
So yo almost tengo que andar tomando, right? To see if we pick up anything?
Anyway.
The only people I know that died are my grandparents that died peacefully.
See anything crazy out of there?
Shirt. No, but I asked him for the color of my shirt.
Okay.
He said red.
He said red or orange. Can't tell.
It sounded like red to me.
Everybody have a good gist of how the devices work.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready to learn some actual history now?
Yes.
All right, let's go do this.
He doesn't seem like he wants to.
Why is that the only loud one?
Let's say.
You can cut that spirit box with just clicking it.
Cover.
All right, let's get everybody out of the drive because that's the only way in and out of this lot. I told you I wasn't taking you to any pretty places.
Come up here.
We're gonna go through somewhere.
Get out of the driveway.
All right, so, oh look at that, we already got EMF. Nice, good deal. So we are standing.
Oh, it went up more.
Oh, that's not another Christmas tree.
Wait,
Should I ask you some questions?
not yet, because you don't know what you're gonna be asking.
Oh gosh.
You gotta know the story first. So here's what I'll tell you. I normally go in blind to any location, but that's because I do this professionally and I don't want to be looking for certain things. But because this is probably a one-off for some of you guys, you're gonna get the stories ahead of time. Now the next couple of things we're gonna do are gonna be harder questions, but you need to know a little bit about the history of this place first. So this actually used to be the home to Eliza and Charles Pinckney. So they were a pretty big deal in Charleston. Not many ghost tours, I don't think any ghost tours actually come here because it's just a parking lot. There's nothing to see. But you guys are actually going to dive into the investigation of this place. We're going to spend a good 10 to 15 minutes here. There's a lot of activity here. So this is one of those spots I'm going to worry about with you especially.
It was right there in those gates when I started feeling it.
I'm not surprised. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of things after I tell the story. So Eliza and Charles actually had a son named Charles and they had a nephew named Charles. The son and the nephew were signers of our Constitution. The son was obviously raised here, so pretty big deal. I hate politics. We're going to move on to Eliza. Eliza, I know, right? I'm so tired of politics.
Yeah.
So Eliza married Charles because her dad thought he was dying and he wanted all his kids home. She didn't want to go. So she got married pretty young. There was a pretty big age gap between them. You can ask her how old she was. That'll be one of your questions. But anyway, Dad got better. He started sending gifts over from England. Remember the baked beans breakfast? This is where it all occurred. Also, just last week, I caught 2 shadow people on the thermal imaging camera in that corner. And I'll show you that video when I'm done. I know, it's super rad. I love it. So, check this out. Dad starts sending her gifts. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Now, indigo is a pretty big deal. You guys have been driving around town, at least for a day. You know that indigo in Charleston's a big deal. So what the hell is it? It's an actual plant that makes blue dye for us. It makes our blue jeans blue. We still use it. Like, it's a big deal. It has a deep history in Charleston through the Gullah culture. Basically came over from Africa, and the Pinckneys obviously had slaves, but Eliza turned it into a huge cash crop and saved Charleston after our rice plantations went downhill. So that was a big deal for us. So she wasn't just the person who planted it and worked in the fields and all that. She was the businesswoman who sold it overseas. 1700s. Do you think there was ever a businesswoman? No. It was never a thing. So it was a pretty big deal. So here's a couple of things about Eliza that you guys can ask on your spirit boxes, and I'm sure most of the teams are going to want to be near a spirit box during this session, or hell, even the thermal imaging at this point, now that I have evidence. Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, so Chuck screwed that one up. She goes by her maiden name, Eliza blank Pinckney. Try to find out what that maiden name is. It's not her middle name, maiden. Keep that in mind. They had 4 kids. You already know one was named Charles, but only one of those 4 kids was a daughter. Try to find out what the daughter's name is. I'm giving you questions that I've gotten the answers to before. You can ask anything you want to about her death. How old she was, what she died from, where she died, and where she's buried at. So, the only thing I'll tell you is she's not buried in Charleston. So, she loves to come and chat. As you guys are asking questions about Eliza, I'm actually going to be talking to Charles because I've been learning more and more about him. You have to imagine, my job is ever learning. When I canceled my 7 o'clock tour, I went straight to Barnes & Noble because there's a new book about Edgar Allan Poe in Charleston. I had to have it, and I went up to go get it. So I spent some time at the bookstore, and I'm always reading, especially getting new stories. So, you can also ask what happened to the mansion. That's another story all by itself. So, try to find out what happened there. The EMF meter, if you actually hold it up, like you're going to take a selfie, and put that blinking light in the background, because it's not always blinking, it's usually in sync with that blinking light.
Oh yeah, I see it.
It's usually, when it is blinking, it's usually within 2 frames if you video it, because you have to imagine it's a pulse. It's kind of like, I told you guys, it's an invisible field. So it's coming out of here and influencing that light. And that light is a different blink every night when it does blink. Last night it was a strobe light. A couple nights ago, it was real weak. Real weak. Real weak. That's how that went.
It's happy because I'm here.
You guys want to see a crazy video of this place?
Oh.
Yeah, a bunch of it.
Creo que se quemó la casa.
No.
Se quemó la casa.
They have their own stories.
No.
By church.
¿Cómo
They
se
work
llama?
at By Church Restaurant.
Eliza.
Eliza.
She was like her. It sounds like a very extraordinary woman to be a business.
Apúntale, manda so we can go there later.
All right. So here's what's going to happen in this video. I'm going to kind of play it a couple times. It's only a few seconds long. I'm up in that corner because somebody called me up there and said, I just saw 2 shadows. I'm like, okay, what kind of shadows did you see? They're like, it felt like 2 people. I'm like, all right, can you describe what these shadows shaped like? And they're like, well, one of them had a hat on. I'm like, all right, that's crazy. Well, July of this past year, same evidence, somebody took a picture in this area, 2 people, one of them was wearing the hat that she described. It was almost like a bowler's hat with the rounded edge all the way around. I have that picture on the evidence folder. This particular video, we went flying up there. They're shooting a video because obviously I didn't have it. I'm trying to help debunk where the shadow could have come from. And 2 people go walking this way up East Bay. I'm sorry, they go walking that way on East Bay Street. Normal people. I kept that in as a reference because they are orange and red. But then 30 seconds later, 2 people come walking past the wall.
Oh.
They were black in color. Black is the coldest area on that camera. So, sorry. It's crazy. Alright, so, let's see if it'll flip for us. You're going to see the wall is orange, and you're going to see 2 people walk past. Let's see where it's at on the screen. You can start it over. Alright. So 2 people are going to go walking past. Sorry, I'm looking at it upside down. There they are. You see them going by? Okay, so there's 2 people. Those people are living. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Watch that wall again when he pans back up, because he'll stop. Did you see him? They were black in color. So that's the coldest area. Now you guys all know skin color is obviously the warmest piece on that camera. So that just happened last week. So again, nice slow pans on there. Spirit box folks, you guys have some good questions. You can ask anything you want to. I want you guys to also kind of keep in mind that when we're asking all of these questions, The answer can go anywhere. We have audio there, audio here, and we have 4 spirit boxes running tonight. Sometimes I'll ask a question that you guys have no idea what I asked, and then somebody's gonna turn around and say, I heard the number 7. That's because I asked how many people were on this tour. How many people are with me? Makes sense. You'll have the evidence, obviously the evidence here, and then let's say you guys heard the number 7. Obviously they're going to be in a different area. So you guys can branch off into wherever you want to go in this lot. Keep in mind we do get a homeless guy that likes to sleep by the gate, so kind of keep away from there. But stay within the parking lot and your gun. Keep the red dot within the lot. So below the wall.
I won't.
Yeah. Lasers again. I have to reiterate constant. It's nothing against you personally. All right. So spirit boxes, go where you guys need to go. I'm gonna go the opposite direction.
What was her last name again?
Pinkney.
What, you heard that? It sounded like a cracked egg or something else.
Yeah, it sounded like something dropped. I heard it too.
Alright, babe, you're asking for me.
All right, I want to see where everybody goes so I can kind of go in the opposite direction.
I think Eliza or somebody liked my purse.
I think he does.
I felt my purse like it poked.
Poked it? We'll take that.
Eliza likes designer stuff.
¿Fue lo que se cayó ahorita? Where are you, Liza? You want to come out so we can see you? What's your daughter's name, Eliza? Can you tell me your daughter's name, Eliza? Who are you?
Are you seeing anything?
So you were all together, but there was like a black dot.
We heard
With
she said hi everyone.
yeah, there was a black dot, and that's why I was like right there because you guys were together, so it should have been all orange,
Yeah.
but there was a black dot.
Yeah, all we heard her say was,
We said hi Eliza, how are you? And she said hi everyone.
Huh? I mean, she's got manners.
Do you wanna ask anything?
No, I have been. I'm not sure if it'll be in the recordings. Yeah. Sí que. So, ¿por qué se mira así? ¿Por qué se mira así el cuerpo de ella? Sí que. How come her shirt looks like that? Shouldn't it be on like thermal thing?
Por la bolsa de ella,
Huh?
sí, la bolsa está colgando.
Yeah, but it should still be orange because she's got
Por la
heat.
bolsa no trae heat. Y la otra como una cosa en la espalda de los hombros.
A ver, dile que si puedo mover un poquito su bolsa.
Her house burned. I told you.
Rosie,
Me dijo,
dile que si puede mover su bolsa to the front a little bit.
A la aquí.
A la girl, if she can move, ask her if she can move her purse to the front.
Am I moving your purse to the front? So she's...
We want to see if it's one of the dots.
Yeah. Move?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. to the
Turn
front.
turn back.
Sí, mira, ya lo puse
Yeah,
enfrente.
like
Okay.
The way how you guys were. We were just trying to figure out if that dot was your purse.
It was.
Okay. It was?
Yeah.
Her house burned. I told you. She answered.
Her house burned.
Mm-hmm.
She said it's funny to us when we asked, but that was it. Yeah, she said, we asked, how'd you die? And she said, it's funny, and that's all we heard.
I think we're crazy. It likes to think we're crazy.
Eliza, what is your daughter's name?
Yeah. Let's go.
You want to tell us your daughter's name, Eliza?
¿Cómo estaban?
¿Ah? ¿Quién?
¿Estaban?
¿Quién es?
Trabajan ahí, un hombre blanco, como de la raza de ellos, estamos preguntando. Pues es historia de... Vamos a ver si también sus carros.
A lo mejor venía como a checar su carro, ¿no?
Me and you were asking scary questions, and then we heard October, but we didn't ask anything about a month. And then, so he asked, what did you ask?
I asked Charles when his birthday was. It's October 29th. He died
You
October
said October again?
Yeah.
Is it October?
Yeah, he did.
So do you like Octavius? Because it sounds like October.
So they also heard the word slave. The slave quarters were in the back. They also heard the word blue several times. What color is indigo?
Who touched me first?
Blue.
I want to know who touched me first.
October again.
Yep.
Interesting.
Charles?
We heard it's funny, but we didn't ask, all we asked was, how did you die? So I don't know if someone else asked something.
Did she kill herself?
I've just been asking for the daughter's name.
Okay, so we're gonna keep going because we're getting a lot, so I don't want to end this, especially out of yours. So I'm gonna move on to different types of questions and see what else you guys might actually have captured. It's super interesting because you're gonna hear on the audio, hey Charles, when's your birthday? And then we meet up. And she says, I heard October. I'm like, yes, it worked. So, all right, we're gonna spend another. How are you feeling, by the way?
Good. I felt somebody poke my purse, and then I heard burn when I
Okay.
asked what's
Well, the
your
house did catch fire right where I was standing above its second floor.
Yeah, we heard something about a ladder over here though. Maybe he jumped off the ladder or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe try to find out what year that fire occurred. Let's see if we get a number.
Me siento emocionada. Like, oh, Becky's
Let's try that one and see what goes on there.
My witchiness is back, you guys.
You're so dumb.
Anybody want to switch spots with me? Because that's kind of the hot spot for
Let's
activity.
go over there.
Don't you two come up here. So that's where I get the most answers. What's not going to burn down? No, it's almost like a it burns your nose. I think it's it's the future because it's. Sorry, just let me for a brief second.
What's that smell?
It's heavy right here. I feel dizzy. Why are you making me dizzy? Eliza, is it you or Charles? Why are you ignoring my questions, Eliza?
Oh,
Hello?
Hey,
Eliza, did you touch my purse?
How many kids did you have?
Aquí está. Aquí viene un auto. Lo voy a quitar. Aquí fue.
What year did the house burn?
Ya se movió, but it's right there. No, it's right there.
what year did the house burn down?
It's right there. book open. I want to know what's there. I want to know what's there. Can you take a picture? Okay. There. ¿Puedo aquí también?
What year did the house burn down?
Oh, yeah, right here. Tómale. A ver, ¿no hay nada aquí?
What the?
In what year did the house burn down?
Mm-hmm.
71. 1871. Air 71. 1871.
How old was she when you died, Elijah?
Pero sí que ibas a hacer que mirar a alguien. ¿Te acuerdas de la película esa que trae
Yeah.
el caramelo
Sure,
muerta?
no. Ya la reprendí. You're not coming with me, Eliza.
She likes to travel, so watch it because she didn't die
I
here.
do give you credit, Eliza, for being a woman ahead of your times, for being an entrepreneur.
Alright, what are we gathering now? What are we...
Nausea right there. That spot.
You heard something about 1871?
Yeah, we heard 1871 over there.
Close. What did you guys hear?
I just heard, why is it important to you?
Yeah, we didn't really hear anything.
Okay, so the house burned down in 1861.
Oh.
Oh, really?
So
Wow.
that's it. Really, really close. I was asking Charles what political party he belonged to because I know that answer. And I got the word politician loud and clear. So we know he's a politician. I was trying to get Republican out of him.
Yeah.
I heard red. I don't know, because I was asking, like, about her shirt, and then I was asking about ages. I don't know. I mean, red.
Yeah, red is Republican, so we can kind of take that too. I didn't think they were doing it that way. That's a good call. I like that. It's a good catch. There's a lot of good stuff here. So you guys got me excited. Like that's that October thing, man. I love that stuff. So we're actually going to move on. Did we catch anything else before I kind of disrupt? Okay. But yeah, really close on the 1871. It was in the Great Fire of 1861. But again, that's really close.
Yeah.
Oh, so the answers to the questions. So Eliza Lucas Pinckney. The previous wife was Eliza Lamb Pinckney.
Dang, even the middle.
Even the maiden names are both L, so you have to be careful who you're Googling.
Yeah.
The daughter's name was Harriet.
Oh.
So that's
That's
a
so
hard one to
pretty.
muster. It usually comes up as a word. I get that several times. Eliza died at the age of 70 from breast cancer in Philadelphia. And that's also where she's buried. So she's not even buried here. She's 13 hours away from here. It's quite a distance to be hanging out. So I get asked all the time, are we going through cemeteries? It's called Stories in a Cemetery, Nick. You're walking through one now.
Oh.
Charleston, with all of our fires, the wars, the famine, everything that we've gone through, we're walking on graves this whole night. Cemeteries, if you're dead, are you hanging out where you're buried? Nope. You're going to go where you loved if you're stuck here. I don't have weird beliefs of crossing over and all that stuff. I don't know those answers. That's why I do this. So the fact that we just got very intelligent answers out of all of our gadgets, I'm going to take it as we got people here with us. And obviously, I'm guessing your EMF was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
So this place has actually let me down before, and that's a good thing. Why is that a good thing? Because if I can walk in here every night, it seems like it's rigged. It's pretty calm right now, actually. But if I walk in here and I get absolutely no EMFs through the whole 15-minute duration that I'm here, that just proves the next night that when they're back, they're hanging out. It's been about 4, maybe 5 times that this place let me down.
So you think they're here?
I know they're here hanging out. I get proof almost, we'll say 98% of the time. I get stuff hanging out here.
Why do you think she wanted to come back here and not stay in Philly?
She
Just
loved
loved
this house.
Charleston and the house.
Loved this home.
They
Again,
did
she
they
got
build
married
this
to
house?
stay here. Yeah, and their house was not the typical home in Charleston. They had a lot of things that the other houses in town did not have. Like it was actually something to see because it was newer technology of building materials.
So after the burning, there was nothing else built here.
Yeah, there's been a restaurant called Molly Darcy's,
Okay.
and I believe that particular building was other restaurants before that. I mean, that was pretty recent. They tore it
Okay.
down just a couple of years ago. They're supposed to be putting a commercial hotel here now, and they're not going to do an archaeological dig, which sucks because we can learn a lot about the slaves. We can learn a lot about their way of life, especially since their home was so different than everybody else's in Charleston. So, but they're not gonna. They were supposed to have it up already, which I was like, damn it, that's gonna kill my tour.
Yeah.
But at the same token, when they do it, maybe I'll be able to get us to be able to pass through it and you know show them the stories and all of my data and evidence that I get from this place. So
how many workers did they have? Did they have a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
slaves?
I could never get asked that constantly. I don't have records of.
Yeah, we
She
tried
was
to
trying
ask
to ask
and
that.
they didn't.
Yeah, I wish I could find those records. Not all slaves were recorded.
Yeah.
So again, a lot of those records are lost in some of the fires that we've had, or they weren't recorded at all. Like they came in through the customs house and they were sold, and that was it.
That is where they came from, I told you. Huh?
So again, the slaves
customs
were
house?
actually
Ahí es donde los hacían mark.
they were sold right there at the customs house and at the slave mart, not the slave market that we have. That's a misnomer. So the market, the open air market, was just an open air market. The slaves were sold across the street at the customs house, and the slave mart is on Chalmers Street. So it's an interesting little museum. So if you've got an extra hour or two in your guys' vacation, you should see it. It's something to see.
How big were the parameters of the house? Was it like the size of the parking lot? Was it bigger?
It was actually in sections. So for the most part, like this wall wasn't here. This is part of Molly Darcy's. So this the flat of land, the house, I want to say, pretty far over into Antigua Street. But then they almost have like a carriage house off to the side. So the house would have been probably halfway up that side of the wall. And I'll send you guys pictures because it's in my blog post I did about this place. It'll give you some of that evidence that we actually captured. So that'll be a direct link. So you guys, in a picture of the house during the fire, you'll see it's right here. It's right here on the second floor.
And the slave house is always back
In the back.
corner.
Actually, they would have been lined up along the back. I don't know how big it was. I don't have pictures of that, unfortunately, but that's the layout of the land. When you look at the plat of land from that time period, you get an overhead drawing view, like a map. So they only show you kind of like where the things were. They don't give you height and build and all that stuff. You got to find pictures of that. All right, we're gonna go up to Lodge Alley. It's about 4 blocks up the road. Takes about 4 or 5 minutes to get there. Spirit boxes, go ahead and feel free to listen to those. I'm listening for names at this point. And I'll explain why once we get to Lodge Alley. By all means, take as many pictures as you want to. Your EMF is going to go crazy on East Bay Street because of the parking meters. I want you to just ignore it. Okay, don't get excited about anything. Are we still on a red square over there? Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. On your spirit box, you have a little icon that says SD. Should be great. Yep, you're good. Just want to make sure everything is still recording. When we lead the way, I'm going to have you kind of meet me at the very top of the alley because I always like to get 2 pictures going into the alley. And everybody got comfortable walking shoes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good?
All right. All right, guys. And it's definitely a mask up type area. I'll be smoking. That's the loophole.
That's good.
Oh, so I can smoke too. The loophole. Yeah, because it does a loophole. So you can take it out to smoke. ¿Por qué va tan rápido, señor?
I know we're the noisiest tour in town. I don't want to. Some people are going to be eating dinner outside. That's the other thing.
Mira, qué rico.
This is the misnomer where everybody thinks the slaves were sold.
That it was
They
up
were
here.
sold right there on the steps as they came in off the water, and where they went over to the slave mart and they were sold over there.
And they still keep it as a big monument. They should have turned that shit down. They should have turned that shit down instead of the banks. The expensive stores. mask.
Everybody still with us? I didn't lose anybody at the bar? That's good.
What? What is it? I Excuse me.
He crashed on the job.
He's crashed on the job. Estaba dormido.
Where's my picture taker? I lost his name already.
Juan.
Juan.
John.
I won't do that if he goes by Juan.
Uh-huh.
Give me these two nice pictures going down there. Nice and still.
Oh, there you go. Is it good?
And we'll get artsy over here. Turn it inside.
This is creepy.
Yeah, we talked about it. It's stuff right here.
That's true.
Alright, let's go ahead and kill the spirit boxes. This is a quiet zone, unfortunately. There you go. I know it's a fun. Did we hear any names along the way? No?
We heard lyrics from a song that's like a relevant song, but I forgot.
Okay.
Because I started singing another song.
So this is Lodge Alley. This is one of the oldest streets. You don't look at this as an alley because people used to actually live here. These two buildings that we're leaning on, they weren't here. Shotgun houses. Shoot a bullet in front and we'll go out the back. That's how small they were. I have a full list of residents of every person that's ever lived here. It's not a long list. But the names Benjamin and John usually show up together. They voted for residents here in 1801. There was only 4 residents here, I think, at that time. And I usually get those 2 names constantly together. Benjamin will show up sometimes by himself, but Benjamin and John together usually makes sense. So, I didn't get anything on my box either. It actually stayed pretty quiet the whole way here. This also, too, if you look at the bricks, these are clay bricks that were made by hand and laid by slaves. So, obviously they're not evenly spaced. They did do an archaeological dig through these bricks to try to find out more about the people that lived here. You gotta remember, too, I told you Charleston was much skinnier. Okay, so those buildings that we see from here weren't there. The smell of low tide through here, probably not a very pleasant place to live. Okay, it probably would have sucked pretty bad, to be quite honest. But what they found in between the bricks were pieces of their silverware, some of their tools, little pieces of their clothing. You consider these people to be lower class. Now, I also have, along with that list, gives their occupation. It's not a census list where it gives you like their age and all that mess. It's literally like their address, their name, their occupation, done. And it's all based by year because again, there wasn't much here. This is also where the Masons used to be, so it's an interesting place altogether. Wow. I asked for some pictures at the top. We'll get more as we leave, so you'll be the last one out and you take 2 more going the opposite way. I know, right? I do get a green orb that shows up here all the time. That green, I just got it again the other day. Here comes security to lock things up. So, the green orb isn't in the same place every time. And I've been down here during the daytime and the nighttime trying to debunk it. I can't find where the hell the screen light's coming from. I just got another one, I think it was last night. Yeah, last night. So when you guys get your evidence, just scroll down to the previous tour and you'll see I do a slider and I break it up so they can see it. Yeah, and it's usually solid. It's not a secret orb. It is solid. And what happens when I find things in the pictures and the wife verifies that it's legit, it goes into an evidence folder on Facebook. So that way all of the actual things that we capture, he doesn't need all the photos that he's taking, but the evidence ones get copied over into the evidence folder. So you guys will see that when you guys get your evidence. I have caught shadow people down here before with the thermal imaging camera. Not as distinct as what we caught over there. They were a little bit different. It's still kind of hazy on whether it was a real person or not. Real hazy. It's a touch and go with that one. But I do get weird things that happen out here all the time. I used to tell stories about my investigations with the psychic in Myrtle Beach, and then all this stuff happening, and I had to learn more about this alley. It was just kind of a creepy ambiance, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's creepy real life. So it's kind of like, let's go check this place out and see what's actually happening here. So we're going to walk through the rest of this alley. And one, there's actually, like as you get towards the end, you're going to see St. Philip's Steeple at night. That's a great picture as a touristy spot too. So we're going to take a couple of pictures of that for everybody. And I'll give you the good spots on where to take those. That's just kind of a, hey, here's a souvenir. You guys are all tourists. Have a good time. But we're going to go learn about Philadelphia Alley. You can turn on your spirit boxes in here. We'll kind of keep yours cupped a little bit. We're going to enter a resident area. So when we leave the alley, those are houses. People live there. They're winding down from the day. We're just going to be respectful and cross the street and go into the next alley. So just kind of stroll through here and see what we capture.
Oh, yeah.
Están purificados.
Sí, me gustaron. Como que hicieron perfect para el group.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Está purificado. Son hermanas.
Oh, sí. Oh, me dieron la madre.
Careful with your boots. Your boots.
Was I the big attraction?
I heard the old prison is blue. That one I heard was really kind of cool.
I'm telling you, hurt computers. I'm not getting excited about that. Like, the bunking things ahead of the game. That kind of gives you the gist of anything. But I have another guy that just contacted me. He's almost another me. Like, he has his own podcast, he does his own tours, he doesn't do what we do, but he does go, into some of the other darker spots. He's no other competition. But at the same point, he called me about the old Provost dungeon, because he's doing an episode on that and wanted to feature my podcast on my tour. I was like, oh, that's awesome of you, thank you very much. But he interviewed me for that, and I told him what happened in my investigation. I started asking him about other things, because he's been doing this for like 20 years. So he started talking about, he asked me if I did jail, and I said, I haven't done the tour. He's like, it's actually legit. He's like, you can actually probably take one or two of your gadgets with you and kind of see what happens. I'm like, well, I've already done my investigation there. The next time I go, it'll probably be alone, because it affected my wife, which she normally doesn't get affected. So just that dark feeling of things. Like, I may go back and do this one, because they're about to renovate it and turn it into something, like an actual business. So if you can take that tour, take it while you can. Especially that particular company, because they are pretty much my biggest competition, but they're not friendly with me. Oh, by the way, did you guys happen to notice that I only take 10 people at a time? Like, that's my max. Yeah, so your other tours, we're probably going to run into at least one other tour night, and we're doing each groups of 20.
That's what they did in New Orleans, huh?
Yeah, the New
The ones in New Orleans that I was telling you?
Yeah.
They were like 20.
Well, they just lifted our restrictions from COVID. So we were all at 10, and I was doing 10 anyway before COVID, just because it's more personal for you guys. I didn't have enough gadgets to go around to 20 people. That's just not fair to everybody. I mean, not to say that what you guys are doing and sharing, I want 2 people on specific things, but at the same token, like, you guys are getting to know me. I'm getting to know you guys. I may not remember all of your names, but I know faces. Where's my digital camera person? Where's the S-Box? I know who has what. But yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. You guys are leaving next year later.
So would you suggest to do that before the community? You want to do
We'll Google it.
this is really good. I want to try fried green tomatoes.
En el lugar que pasamos venden. Mira qué mucho esa cosa. Venden. Esto está aquí en la mesa. Wait, is that a church? Huh? ¿Lo viste?
Sí, un hombre. La bonita.
¿Qué es eso?
No sé, se ve como un hombre.
So guys, I stop here. We're about to go through Philadelphia
Oh,
Alley.
somebody there.
It's a pretty popular spot. We're about to go through Philadelphia Alley. Philadelphia Alley is pretty much their last stop. Like, this is their end all. Kind of like how, yeah, that's another group. Normally there's about 4 or 5 of them. So I stop out here so we don't get interrupted. They're telling their grand finale story. I'm going to give you the story in about 4, maybe 5 minutes. I'm not going to make it a huge dramatic thing. You guys actually have the tools and the gadgets and spirit boxes to ask questions with, so we're going to actually prove what's actually going on down there. So this place used to be called Dueller's Alley. Duels as in take 20 paces, turn and shoot kind of duels. So here's what happened. There was a doctor. His name is Joseph Brown Ladd. He moved down here from Rhode Island. Keep those initials in mind, R.I. from Rhode Island, because it comes up again later and can show up on spirit boxes. So he moved down here because he was supposed to get married. That doesn't make sense, right? His fiance just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The lawyer handling that money said, nope, you guys aren't getting married. You need to send the doctor away to prove that he's just after you. So, and not your money. So the doctor moves to Charleston. The coachman that brings him into town sets him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start. Somebody walking by, Ralph Isaacs, initials R.I. Good job, guys, you're paying attention. Guys all get an A. So, Ralph says, you don't want to stay here. Let me take you somewhere else. He takes him to 59 Church Street. It's about 1.5 miles from here. that in mind because the duel happened here. So the two become friends, but Ralph is just a regular Charlestonian attorney. He blends in with the crowd. The doctor's practice takes off. He's making a lot of money. Amanda's going to be moving down soon. All will be well. So, see, they're ending their card. I don't expect applause. I expect great reviews.
Yeah.
No pressure. No. So at any rate, the two become friends. The doctor's practice is taking off. He's doing well. They went to go see plays together, but they had to sit in different seats because they're in different parts of society now. It's kind of like going to see a movie with your friend, but you can't sit next to them because they make more money than you. They suck, right? So anyway, they used to talk about the plays on the way home. They go see Richard III one night. They're talking about the play. The doctor loves the new actress in town. Ralph does not. It turns into an insult party on the doctor's fiance. So now he kind of hit a nerve with the doctor. And they both get pissed off, and they go their separate ways. So what happens from there, I told you Ralph was from here, which means he has ties to the newspaper. He puts a big ad in the paper of what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. He's not from here, he takes all our money, those kind of things. The doctor rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. He's pretty pissed off. So, loser of a duel is normally what?
Dead.
Dead. Somebody's not making it out alive.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody's going to die. So here, you guys can see that wall. Some of you are pretty short. The far wall actually has an opening in it. Okay? That's a doorway. The loser of the duel would normally be picked up, carried through the courtyard from the doorway, over to the cemetery. They drop the body in the pre-dug grave, and they go celebrate the winner.
Convenient.
Right? That's how that shit went down. Here's what happened with the doctor. They come down, back to back, take 20 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots.
It's like Hamilton.
Wife's going to bed. Sorry. She doesn't wait up, she works early. So, points his gun in the air and he shoots. He didn't want to kill him. Ralph, on the other hand, takes 2 shots below the knees. The doctor drops. So Ralph's still pretty ticked off that they had an argument. His friends pick him up and they carry him home, 1.5 miles away. The doctor dies 10 days later. Now, moral of the story, don't get engaged to somebody named Amanda. No, okay, just making sure everybody's paying attention again. They say, as you walk through this alley, you can hear the whistles of the doctor. So remember I told you his practice was doing well and Amanda was going to be moving down?
Yeah.
He became known as the whistling doctor. You can Google that, and this is the very short version of the story you'll read. They say you can hear his whistles. Now, we do get hecklers. Everybody in Charleston knows this story. So we do get the... There's a fake one for your audio. When you guys are listening to this on your drive or flight home, turn it up. This is where you're going to be listening for the whistles. I will stay away from the spirit boxes so you guys have a clearer audio. I have caught 2 that I cannot debunk from hecklers, and they're very faint. So they're there, but and it always sounds like this. You hear how quiet it is? We're 2 blocks away from East Bay Street on a Saturday afternoon. This is what this sounds like. It's this quiet all the time. They also say you can hear gunshots. I don't get any gunshots out here. I never have. I'm not expecting it. My 4th of July people, I'm like, no, I'm not even going to try. It's not going to happen. I'm skipping this portion of your review. So the other interesting thing about this particular alley, and this is another nugget of history, so away from the doctor and the duels, the bricks you're going to walk on are going to get older. The ones where we start were replaced and repaired in the 1990s. As we get to the edge, those bricks were sun-dried by slave kids. They have their fingerprints and 1 full handprint at the end. I will point it out. It is outside somebody's home. If you guys want pictures of it, be quick and swift, but we'll keep moving. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just a little hot. I just wanted a haircut.
She want to put her hair up.
Oh,
I have one.
You have one?
Yeah.
You have one?
Yeah, just gotta find it. Can I have a flashlight?
you actually have one on your spirit box. You have a flashlight on your spirit box.
Oh, it's like a hand tie.
I was like, you have a hair tie?
Yeah, I'm good like that. And you guys see my lovely locks? So, isn't that a cool little gadget? It has a flashlight and everything.
Found it.
So,
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
those fingerprints I'll start to point out with my toe. The handprint, however, if you take a look at it closely, and if you guys get pictures of it, the thumb of the handprint lays over into the next brick. Now, if you think about that, that means that kid had to put that brick in wet
Yeah.
and then slam his hand into it. Kind of a screw you, I don't want to do this anymore. That's kind of how I look at it. I had to guess one night, kind of say it was debunked and fake because the guy who lives right there, he also says it's fake. And you can find those handprints in 3 different places in Charleston. There are 3 different, like there's one here and then there's Drayton Hall and I can never remember the third. But Google handprints Charleston, it'll come up. But that particular one is really, really interesting because that thumbprint overlaps. A few weeks ago, I'm walking through this alley, and this is just a weird story. And I told you guys I smelled something over at Pinckney Mansion site, something a little putrid. I got this weird smeller thing going on. So when I'm out doing investigations, I always smell weird things. Oh, look at that.
That was a weird
So I got the word
smell there.
writing. I'll explain that real quick. That's good. So writing, the doctor actually wrote poetry about his life in Charleston and Amanda. His sister published the book after he died. So I'm going to take writing as we've got some activity going on, which is good.
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
All right, so I'm walking through this alley one night, a very small group. I think there was only 4 people because it was supposed to rain. And I smelled some kind of fruit. I didn't say anything. I was going to see if somebody else smelled it. Did somebody?
Sweet smell, kind of.
A little tart. So somebody walks up and says, "I smell passion fruit." I'm like, "No, I'm pretty sure that's grapefruit." And so we argued about it for a minute. We tried to find where the smell was coming from. Like we danced around. It was strong and then gone, strong and then gone. I'm like, this is weird. Then my spirit box says the word pie. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I go home, I do my research. You know, grapefruit pie was a thing that started in Charleston.
Wow.
It's the most disgusting thing I can possibly think of in my head. But that's all I could smell was grapefruit, and then the word pie came up. Oh, look at that.
Grapefruit
Rifle.
pie.
We're talking about duels. Of course, they probably would use pistols.
Yeah.
But I'll take a gun by any means. That is close, right? We'll take that. I don't normally get things like that on here. That's why I was like, oh shit, we got a gun. So we're going to walk through this gate. If you guys want to check out the death gate, by all means, I'm going to continue left so I can stay away from the spirit boxes. You are going to kind of keep them low near the houses. Those people are a little grumpy sometimes. So we definitely, once you get to the houses at the end, just kind of turn them down and cup yours. But if you guys want to go over and check it out, I'm just going to head left, smoke my vape, let you guys check the alley out. Plenty of pictures in there for me. I'll get ready? From this seat.
Okay.
Hard to find the bathroom.
What is this?
Okay.
Just to put it in my mouth.
So I bring my group down here.
It's so pretty.
Pretty and quiet, and it's just our charcuterie board.
Little vinitos.
Because I can't even handle because I have to have a cup. I can't really understand the English stuff.
Yeah, but it's gonna be all in the recording.
In real time.
That way, but we're going to go this way. So you guys want to check out the death gate?
Death gate? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Death gate?
Uh-huh.
That's the death gate?
I assume so. Is there another gate?
¿Por qué death gate?
Because that's what they would carry them over.
Oh, okay. So, death gate.
Yeah.
I'm not getting anything.
Para acá.
I don't feel good.
How do you feel?
I don't know. I kind of. I don't know. I'm in a bad mood, but I just feel like irritated and my stomach hurts.
So how do you do it?
You need to cover it though because it's residential area. No.
Like this one?
I think it's a problem.
How do you think I do it?
Take off this maybe.
No sé, pero esto es death gate.
Ah, miedo. Se mira bonito en medio. Aquí nomás. Ahorita que se mueven para allá.
Sugar anything?
Mm-mm.
Have you guys gotten anything?
I don't think I
No.
R.I.
Really?
Where are you? Huh? Come out.
Was
Come
that just
out.
you moving it, or?
That was because you're on.
Oh, okay.
Come out.
That was
Rosie.
a noise.
Come out.
Riri,
Come out.
where are you?
Wherever you are. Ay, look at you.
No.
Yeah, this is a great picture spot too.
Oh, it
This
is.
shows you why this turned into Philadelphia Alley after Doulos. And if you stand far enough back, you can actually get St. Philip's Steeple
Oh,
in there too. I'll give you all the touristy highlights.
yeah.
I'm not getting much on mine. Did you guys have your spirit boxes on at all?
Yes,
I heard you
they
guys
have
a little
them.
bit down there.
Mm-hmm.
I did get the phrase too while I was telling the duel story, against me. So I'll take that too, because that's obviously somebody saying they were against me during the duel. Interesting. Alright.
I'll put your flash on so you can read it later.
We got one more spot we gotta do.
¿Pero no se fue ahí?
Can you see it? You want me to put it up? Yeah. You can read?
Flashlight if you want it.
I think I got it. Yeah, I got it.
You want to get it, Cliff?
You can read?
Yeah.
I can't see that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can. What's that smell? No, huele como a gusanos.
Very earthy. Ay, es tan bonito.
No, the trash. I most certainly do not smell no grapefruit.
Okay, why was I feeling a little too live over there? Oh no.
Es que, Rosie, tú sabes que tenemos our witch inside, right?
But why is
And
she
it's
so
like
bad?
jumping, like, let me out, and we're like, calm down.
I feel like it'll burn. Oh, look at that. Oh, how cute.
Mira, mira aquí.
Look at that entrance, Rosie. For the little leaves on the floor.
I don't want to live right there though because people really want to stay
Y
here.
luego la historia de que aquí le mataron a Laura.
A ver, espérate, ¿eh?
Rosie. Rosie. Huh? What this? Rosie.
I mean, I love Honduras, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful.
Aquí está la mano.
¿Esa es la mano?
Yep, it's right here. Look, you can see
And there's the
Oh,
hand.
no. Oh, que Diosito lo bendiga.
she said California is very, very good.
Rosie.
Very different.
Ajá.
Something like that.
It looks so pretty from right here, though. Look at how pretty it looks. You need to get a picture?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Did you take a picture with the hand?
Ya.
Oh, the directas. You good? You good? Huh? You good?
Yeah. I actually do feel better now that we keep walking. I think because when we stay in one place.
Alright, let me get you guys wrapped around the edge up here. We got one more building. You guys actually did really good. I'm excited about the word John at the very beginning. I'm excited about all the terms we just got out of Philadelphia Alley. All of the things that we caught at the Pinckney Mansion site. Like, there's a lot of variations there that I'm going to have to dive into. You guys are going to keep me busy in the morning for sure. So, the building, I just got, by the way, is anybody pregnant here? There's a lot of females here.
No.
Okay. Your eyes got real big.
Yeah, because that's not
I'm
good.
like, you never know.
She said we're done.
No.
Okay. Well, I just got the word birth and then changing. So,
It doesn't have to mean pregnancy. It could be a change in life.
first thing I
Birth
thought
changes life.
of-
Or
Yeah.
it could be like a new job.
Birth.
Okay.
Birth
And
changes.
their job.
Just,
How's birth gonna change your
that's why I like
job?
to ask questions.
No,
Not
like
trying to get all up in
the
everybody's
birth
grill
of a new
privately,
child.
but
No baby.
You said birth and what else?
changing.
See? It could be a change.
She's my daughter, so I'm just trying to get things straight right now.
And she's my daughter.
She's so stupid. No, it's
All
not.
right.
She's my sister.
I don't even want to know what the dynamic
No, no,
is anymore.
my sister, niece, godson, and my fiance.
Okay.
Sister.
What about these two?
No,
No.
don't look at there.
These two right here.
My comadres.
Comadre.
Comadres.
There you go.
No
Good
babies
sensing
here.
friends.
No
There we
babies.
go.
Go away.
All right. The
Maybe
brick
that
build-
next week.
the next week.
Yeah, maybe the next one.
This brick building is called the Wagner Building. Okay, it's a German building, but it used to be part of our cotton industry. It was a warehouse in the back, and the offices for the warehouse were in the front. The last person who had it as a cotton warehouse, his name was George Poirier. George inherited the business from his dad. Silver spoon kid, no clue what he was doing. Got himself into a bunch of debt and blew through his inheritance pretty quickly. He had to get out of the business. We also had the boll weevil in town. That's a bug that eats cotton. He is screwed. He can't even sell all of this back to the Americans and keep the boll weevil here. He decides he's going to sell it to the British. So the British go a little bit lower than what he would have had to pay off all his debts. So he takes the deal. The ship rolls up, again, peninsula much skinnier. So where the Bendu is in Pineapple Park, where you guys have probably already visited, that's where the ship rolled up. He's watching everything from the second floor. Your online stories will tell you the third story. Everything I get out of my data says the second. So just take that for what it's worth. So anyway, they unloaded my horse and buggy back here from these really cool garage doors that you see, and they take it out to the ship. Once it's all loaded, somebody gets too close to the cotton with a pipe, which means the whole ship caught fire and everybody died. George watches the whole thing. He's already depressed because his dad is gone, and then he decides, once he's going through that, cops are probably watching me right now, I'm sure, without a mask on. Yep.
You're sensitive now.
He's in his car. It's happening. So, where was I? His dad's gone, he's depressed, and now his father's legacy is gone. So what's he do? He piles up all the furniture, puts a captain's chair on top, climbs the mountain of furniture, swings a noose, and hangs himself. Now, it is said you can see the shadow of a swinging corpse from the second story. Actually, I say the third story, but again, we covered that. Now our camera, your camera, does not see through glass. So here's what we're looking for. We're actually looking for one of those blue windows to turn a darker blue or black, which means something is influencing it from the inside. Does that make sense to y'all now? Okay. I was very disappointed when I got the camera and started researching it. I'm like, oh, I only blew a couple $100 for it not to do what I wanted it to do. So, the interesting thing about this is we're going to get words on our spirit boxes. This is fire, ship, cotton, debt, money, those kind of things. You get a lot of things around money with this location. I also get another ghost that likes to tag along. During that same time period of late 1800s, where we came out of Philadelphia Alley 2 blocks up is a restaurant called Coogan's Porch. Coogan is a dog. We're not getting the dog. Although last night the word pet came up while I was here. That was interesting. So, we get the previous owner of that house. Her name was Zoe St. Amand. She is of French descent, so we could hear the word French, which does come up. And Zoe had a sister that lived with her named Elizabeth. Zoe died in the house by falling down the stairs. So you put here stairs, death, killed, accident, those kind of things. If you ask Zoe what the house looks like now, she's going to go into very simple terms. Food, eat, fork, spoon. Simple 1 to 2 syllable things. Restaurant and accident are a lot to come up with. Those are 3 syllables. You guys obviously know I'm an English guy, so I look at those kind of things. So it's interesting to actually see what we're actually going to get out of this. On a nice, cool, non-breezy night like this, where's the temperature guns? You have those. So in the front of the building, we're going to test it out. At the peak in the front, you see the peak here in the back, where it comes to a point? It's covered in stone in the front of the building.
Oh, okay.
5 feet below that is the same type of stone inlaid into the brick. Sometimes there's a 30-degree difference.
Oh, wow.
Now, on a nice, non-breezy night, I would expect a little breeze from the water to make the top a little bit cooler by about 7 to 12 degrees. If it goes over 17 or 18 degrees, I'll get excited, which means I probably have to listen to the Red Spirit Box a lot more tomorrow morning. So, again, we'll see what we hear along the way. Again, in simple terms from George and Zoe. I will lead the way, so I can
George
stay away
and
from your
Zoe.
spirit boxes. Once we get to the front, obviously we want to kind of keep the other one cupped, the black one that she has. And what else do we have? Your EMF is going to be irrelevant when we get to the front because we're going to be back to the parking meter thing again. Definitely lots of pictures from you along the second story, and then obviously camera for you on the second story, and then we will wrap this up and see what we caught in the morning. I think we actually got quite a bit already because we're seeing it in real time. So.
I like it. Where are you, Zoe? Zoe, are you here with us?
That is the red gun.
The red gun.
Red gun, red gun.
Let's see how good your aim is. I need pictures of the second story from you. Yeah. Very top stone. You know it.
There is a car that's going to be coming.
Right there. Okay, then go down to the half circle. Right there. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. Right there. So about 8 degrees. Okay, just press down. So that's right there. You guys hear anything on your spirit box along the way? I didn't get much either. So out of that end. At this point, I'm going to start collecting the devices that are not recording and pretty much irrelevant.
How do I explain that?
A few more minutes. Just so you guys have that extra piece of audio. So again, I'm not going to go through all of your data, but I will hit a lot of the hot spots that we had, which you guys hit quite a bit. How many cards I got? I got 4 cards left, so we're going to get 1 to the sisters. I got more along the way, and then I'll give those to you to pass out to the rest of everybody. Just my card so you guys can check out the website ahead of time. And that way you guys can kind of get a gist of how this goes down. So I will take your thermometers. Thank you very much. What did you guys think? Comments?
Fun, great.
Is this what you guys thought you were getting into? Nope. You guys are going to go to work. That's how this goes. You guys, believe it or not, you're collecting data for my, hopefully if I get accepted into my PhD program next year, and they're going to allow me to put my own dissertation, which will be on the paranormal. So if they accept me when I'm done, I'll be a doctor of ghosts. So let's hope. Fingers crossed. Let's get that. I'll take your spirit box. Thank you very much. You did really well with yours too. This one is a little harder because we have to rely on whoever has it to tell us what's going on. So the fact that we actually got a lot of good stuff. Except for the question. Alright, and I will take the thermal imaging. See what we capture out of this in the morning. Is it still a square? Yep. You're awesome. She's